it's good for us to bring that to mind, you know, even though we may feel separate and we feel that we work very hard to survive as the little humans we are, there is also this other reality, which is also true, on which basis we are all interdependent, interconnected, and everything we do and is done affects something else. And it is actually one of my friends and colleagues, Tara Brach, who talks a lot about delusion of separateness. And I'm actually working on an article which I'm trying to submit to one of the Buddhist newspapers, where maybe I'm just reading a page. So on the most profound and hidden level for us humans, there is this archetypal trauma, which might be called the delusion of separateness. And I might call it the most primal, painful, persistent pattern in human society. The delusion of separateness is a misunderstanding that is built on the assumption that we are all separate from each other and from nature. And if that is believed, then nothing is safe or secure. The Buddha clearly understood this notion on a full moon night in Bodh Gaya 2,500 years ago, when he awakened under the Bodhi tree. He understood the deepest nature of life and of suffering. And like a good doctor, the Buddha made a careful diagnosis of society and individuals. He cautioned us that we would go on repeating long-standing painful patterns, he called them samskaras, unless we identify and correctly treat the cause of this predicament. And so first, like a doctor, he said, well, we have to make a diagnosis. And the disease is this understanding that we are separate, that we are pegged against each other, that we have to compete with each other, that it's we have to scramble to have enough to survive. And what comes from this delusion of separateness is a feeling of being chronically dissatisfied and in pain. And we hurt so much because we experience ourselves as isolated beings and don't remember that everything is co-rising and co-emergent in constantly evolving and changing ways. And maybe here I want to say it's not all or nothing. You know, it's not we are either totally enlightened and we get it completely, or we are completely in the dark. As I noticed with my Tibetan friends, for example, or the people in Fiji, there are gradations. You know, those who are still a little bit in touch, as in knowing that they're part of nature, there is more happiness. There is more of a sense of, there's less fear. And so there is this continuum between completely separate and completely interconnected. And as humans, the more we understand that we are part of, as Mary Oliver called it, the family of things, the more we are well, we are healthy, we are okay. Hi, Jane. Just seeing Jane and Carol joining us. The next step to this delusion of separateness is to describe what makes us suffer so badly. So when you think again of a doctor, the first one is the diagnosis, and then the second one is kind of the etiology. Why? What is the bug? You know, what is the tear? What is the whatever is going on? What makes us suffer so badly? We feel so terribly vulnerable because we believe that we are separate. Then we try to protect ourselves by grasping for what makes us feel secure and by avoiding what feels threatening. Great pain comes from clinging so that we reify or what we designate as a separate thing. We make ourselves into a separate thing, meaning that we cling to and defend the notion of who we are and what we need to feel comfortable, worthwhile, and sheltered. And I think we often have this experience with others, that people who are very, what we call defensive, uh, it's hard to be with. You know, it's hard to be with. And often we have a sense that they are actually not quite happy with themselves. The trauma of feeling separate, unsafe, and our need to defend against this feeling is one of our painfully persistent patterns in society. In society, we reify me first, America first, whites over blacks, Aryans over Jews. We otherize in countless different ways. We push away others, whether it is a competitor at school or at work or bothersome neighbor. Countless and individual painful patterns are created in this way. On a larger societal level, we can see this dynamic of othering in the current health crisis. Recently, a painful societal pattern flared up during this fight over masks, meant to safeguard against COVID-19, in us versus them mentality. The painfully persistent pattern of othering made it difficult to protect vulnerable groups and people. These are the symptoms of our delusion of separateness, and we are in the habit of holding on to this misapprehension for dear life. So you might say, well, this is all well, and you know, it sounds true, but can we do anything about it? And I think first, just from being in different countries, we can see, you know, I don't know if you feel that I know Jane is in Bali. Maybe we ask her later if she experiences a difference in Balinese people. I notice sometimes being in Asia, it's different. I don't know if you see a difference. And I definitely felt a bit of a difference being around my Tibetan friends in India or in Fiji, or actually with my Native American friends here in Santa Barbara. But I think we can relearn it. And I so hope that in this time of renewal, of kind of, you know, rethinking, rediscerning what is important, we can find ways to reorganize and to develop practices and habits and customs that again allow us to talk to each other, even when we are different. And actually, I had this really sweet experience with a client today who is a Republican, and it's pretty obvious that I'm fairly liberal. You just have to look around my office, you know, but he likes to come and we have a great time. But it was a little tense, I have to say. You know, there was sometimes a bit of a tension, and he came in to say, I really like Joe Biden. He's such a nice man. And so we both talked, and it was just really sweet. It was this kind of sweetness, and I think maybe, and yesterday when we had our meeting with Joanna Macy, and I think there were about 40, 50 people zoomed in from around. And one person said that he's living on the East Coast, that he has a lot of friends from school that are Republican. And he kind of thinks that they're probably not so happy right now. And so he makes a point to recall each one of them, to kind of check in with them and kind of, reconnect. And I thought that was really wonderful, a great idea. And so, or, teaching what we are doing right now in Santa Barbara, teaching mindfulness and heartfulness practice in schools, has had a really wonderful effect. It has been actually very successful, and they would like us in a lot more schools, but we have only 11 teachers. So it's, we have to train more teachers and get more money to pay them. But it's wonderful. We got this great letter from the principal who said what a great effect it had on the kids, and how they interact with each other, and how they're with the teacher. And so, and I think research from all around the country actually supports that. So that is not the few schools we are in, it's a broader thing. And so what I wanted to do is to teach you tonight an interdependence meditation. Maybe I start with a little bit of mindfulness of breathing, and then I will teach you a meditation that really allows you to experience interdependence with the world, with the earth, with all of us together. And so I thought that might just be apropos for this day. And then maybe afterwards we can unmute and chat a little bit. So make yourself comfortable. And I was wondering, I think there might be two people I haven't met before. I don't know if Carol is the Carol who I know for a long time. She might be, you might be. But Alex, Odell, and Fabian, I think, might be new. I'm not sure. So just to tell you that this is a guided meditation, and you can just follow along. And I think it will be pretty self-explanatory to you. You don't have to have a previous practice to know how to be. And it usually helps to sit in a relaxed way. I like to keep my back straight, but you don't have to. And so it's kind of this fine balance between being relaxed and being alert. Sometimes they say have a strong back and an open heart, a vulnerable, receptive heart. So have the back strong and the heart open. And so it's this fine interplay between alertness and relaxation. All right. Let yourself settle into the sensations in your body. Notice the touch between your body and the chair, the ground. And feel into your body. What is it like right now? And allow your whole body to be filled with presence, with awareness. Let you feel your body where you feel tight, where you feel loose. Notice the sensations in your face, the space between your eyebrows opening, your eyes softening, your jaw relaxing. Your shoulders softening, feeling the area of your chest where your heart is, breath brushing through ever so gently. Belly softening, your seat holding up your torso, your back. Strong back, open heart. Allow your whole body to be filled with presence. Be aware of your body as a whole. Your whole posture being filled with the felt sense, with sensation. You might intensify your attention, looking closer without becoming tense. Being aware of each pixel in your body as a whole. And from this field of body awareness, notice breath arising with the in-breath, letting go with the out-breath. falling back into the sea of body awareness for the next breath to brush in naturally. Feeling every instant of the in-breath and every instant of the out-breath. This field of body awareness, breath brushing in naturally. As you look closely at the sensation and movement of breath, being aware of the whole cycle of breath, allow your body to be breathed, for breath to breathe you. Surrender to the rhythm of breath. Breath brushing in with the in-breath, letting go with the out-breath. And allow your body to be breathed. And feel your face, your arms, the outline of your body. The touch between body and ground or earth and body. Feel breath brushing through. Feel the contact between body and breath and body. Be aware of the space in the room you are sitting in, or the limitless space in which we all are sitting. Connected in timeless, formless space. Breath being breathed into the space, shared by all of us. Breathing in with the in-breath, breathing out with the out-breath, breath breathing you. Now for a moment, imagine the walls of the building you are sitting in, wherever you are, gone. and us all sitting in direct contact with earth, sky, the trees around us. And wherever you are, there is a tree somewhere around. Imagine your breath, all our breath, touching the trees of the land around you. Breathing in with the in-breath, breathing out with the out-breath. Breath breathing you. Trees are receiving carbon dioxide and in exchange releasing oxygen. We are hungry for this oxygen, which we are breathing in with the inhale. Rest in this reciprocal exchange. Breathing out carbon dioxide, taking in oxygen. Tree, taking in carbon dioxide and letting out oxygen. Interconnected, interdependent. Part of one big everything. As you're feeling your breath going in and out, be aware of the interdependence between body and breath and trees and land. Breathing in with the in-breath, breathing out with the out-breath, breath breathing you. You may long for a sense of belonging in life. There may be a yearning for home, for kinship, for a meaningful relationship, for being part of life in safety. Feel your own yearning for a sense of belonging towards yourself. Extend a hand towards yourself and allow yourself to be held. As breath flows through, rest in the sense of being carried by life. And allow yourself to surrender, to be part of this living earth. The earth who is so patient with all of us. Earth, the Bodhisattva who carries us all. Breathing in with the in-breath, breathing out with the out-breath. Breath, breathing you. Let yourself experience what you receive from Earth. And recognize what you're longing to give back to it. Now notice what you feel, and don't be surprised if you experience a sense of caring or even of love. Breathing in with the in-breath, breathing out with the out-breath, breath breathing you. Then imagine for one moment the possibility of being seamlessly connected to everyone and everything, like being part of an immeasurably huge, mysterious web, like being a plankton in the sea of life. A plankton in the sea of life. Within this experience of being held in this spacious field, come back to pockets of separateness or difficulties we and our earth are currently experiencing, because they too are part of the tapestry of life. And send out feelings of compassion, caring, and let the waves of mutual belonging touch everything. Breathing in with the in-breath, breathing out with the out-breath. Breath breathing you. Feel what it's like to allow this experience, to allow the sense of belonging to life. Gently breathing in and gently breathing out. Surrender to your body, heart, and soul to be breathed. Well, thank you so much. And I was wondering if some of you wanted to share something, how you're feeling right now, what this practice was like. Whatever it is.
I'll share.
Thank you, Sarah.
I appreciated the conversation tonight around interconnectedness. Excuse me. Stuck in my throat. And it helped in the meditation for me to feel more connected. Because I've been feeling sort of disconnected and in more fear, and I guess especially this last week, more anxiety, but you know, that's toning down. But the interconnectedness was a really helpful reminder for me. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Sarah. And sometimes what happens when you have been feeling quite disconnected for a long time, and then there's a moment of reconnection, then we are becoming more aware. Oh, I have been feeling so disconnected. You know, I've been feeling so alone and so, you know, separate. So thank you so much. Yeah, Sarah.
Hello. Oh, someone's already speaking. Hello. That was so lovely, Radley. I felt the interconnectedness was just a really beautiful thing to focus on. I felt a little bit like I was flying at the end. I don't know if I just maybe got lots of the extra benefits of feeling like one of the trees, and I could feel almost like being very elemental. So I could feel that the water through me, but the water everywhere. And it just felt really nice sense of like dissolving, actually, like the barrier of the illusion of the barrier of the skin just being there. So yeah, it really actually was really beautiful. And I missed the beginning of what you were saying, but I was just speaking to my mum on the phone last night, and I was just talking about the illusion of, you know, this kind of man-made construct of time, and that there's lots of other layers of time or more stories weaving into play, like the time a tree is on, or a plant, or an ant, or a dragonfly. You know, there's all of this other layers of story that have been going on for a very, very long time. So yeah, it's interesting when we tune into that, really, and forget all of the stuff of the mind that can be so prolific at these times. You know, I got my knickers in a twist really big time this weekend, and all of these things I was getting frustrated about, and I've slowed down the past couple of days and started stopping to look at the plants more and think, okay, this has been bothering me, but is it really worth my health? Is it really worth my stress? But yeah, that's nice. I haven't sat for a little while, and that felt really lovely. So thank you so much, Radley.
Thank you, Jane. Thanks for sharing with us. I was just wondering, can I ask you one more question? I know you live in Bali right now. What are the people like over there? Is there a different sense of separateness or belonging amongst the people who are native to Bali?
I think seems to be much more sense of belonging, and I think there is some kind of like people believe in themselves to be in higher caste, but for the most part, everyone's very friendly. People just chat to you, smile at you. I'm in a very quiet village, but you know, there's a sense of, you know, people seem more seen. Yeah, and I don't think, people just tend to be getting on with the very simple, like the simple things of life, rather than this is here. Obviously, it's different in Denpasar. It's a chaos there, but you know, just to be tuned into like the family, getting something to eat. You know, quite simple life, really. So people seem to have time to, you know, chat and ask you where you're from, whereas perhaps in London, you know, sometimes you'd think, I wouldn't, but a lot of people would think you're insane if you just went and spoke to someone that you didn't know. I would do that all the time anyway, but yeah, very friendly. People seem very chill. and happy to connect. Yeah.
Thank you. It's just sometimes when I hear stories from those places, or when I come back from India, it's more like not so much, oh, they are better or so. It's more like it's possible, you know. It's possible, and you know, we can learn. You know, maybe this is a time of relearning what is important.
I found doing this whole experience of these classes, particularly this class, but also the class with Danjo-san on that's your Wednesday, but my Thursday. I don't think before I appreciated the importance of feeling love towards nature in a way of feeling that connection. I thought previously, I thought the connection was more just kind of like a logical thing. Like, of course, you know, we're all connected. And if I think about it long enough, you see, yes, of course, we are animals like other animals, and we eat food like other animals, and the food nourishes us. But I think the use of just thinking and holding either nature in your mind and really trying to generate that feeling of love like you might have towards another person, for some reason that really helps with building that sense of connection in a way I don't think I'd appreciated that much. And I was wondering, as a question for you, or if anyone knows something, but I'd love to do more loving kindness practices where it is really the earth that you're sharing that loving kindness with. It's often focused at other people, or you're bringing people to your mind. But I think practices just focused on trying to love the earth and the way that we love people around us would be really beneficial. I've personally found that really beneficial.
And your question?
The question is, you know, how, do we have practices? I think this is a practice like that, but I think of something more similar to the way we go about loving kindness often, when we start with something that we anchor on that we do really love, and then we translate to something else that we do really love. And I'm wondering if there's a way of...
you know, I just finished my book number 2. It's ready. I sent it into Shambhala. Ooh. So, but there are 2 chapters in there: practices, compassion for self and compassion for others. I'm glad to send those over to you.
Thank you. That would be great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I just say something as well? I got some information from an Aboriginal elder. Sorry, what were you saying, Radhule?
Huh?
Just there's something came through for an Aboriginal elder recently, I think maybe in March or April, and I was practicing it a lot then, was that it's a really great time for us, you know, when people are earthing, it's often just standing with your feet in the earth. But she was saying this is a time that we're being called to lie. For me, I was having a womb, but I think men can connect in the same way, but put your heart and womb to the earth, and, you know, that real deep connection, because, yeah, we can meditate in the field, but, you know, the earth is a living, breathing being, as is everything else. So, yeah, like, I found that so nourishing for me. I was having a bit of a tough time at the time, and but it felt like there was love was being given to the earth, and there was a communion and conversation happening. So, yeah, like getting your chest and stomach and, you know, your heart onto the earth, and just like I had it almost like the earth was a lot smaller, and I was like lying like draped, and, you know, had the whole, what you do really, it's just a little bit of it, but I could have a sense of the, like, the whole world, and I was just giving it a big hug. But yeah, this is energetically something very beautiful happens, the same with earthing. But yeah, get the heart and the hara, or the heart and the womb on there, and just
Good, thank you. Anybody else liking to share? Yeah, Sarah.
Okay, I've unmuted. I think the greatest gift that I've been given is the opportunity to be in the garden 6 days a week, because everything slows down. And because I have no family, so I miss very much the social interaction. which does wear on me. But I'm not filled with fear or anxiety, but more a sense of wonder.
Yeah.
And so I can't tell you what joy I have watching a spider coming down from, oh, I think it was the umbrella at Garden Court. And it was hanging right in front of us at the table. It was fascinating. And then there were the hummingbirds that were nesting in the giant bird of paradise. So the wonder of all that sustains me. And I'm so grateful for that. So grateful for that.
Thank
and all of you. I mean, really, Radhule, your meditation and also with Michael, I am so incredibly friggin' grateful to both of you. And as long as you can take more dirt from me, I'll be great.
Thank you, Sarah.
I'll mute myself.
There was a few years ago when my office was still at the Museum of Natural History, besides my door, a big spider that went from the house to the bushes nearby. It was like huge. And he was there for many, many weeks. And especially one client of mine and me, we called him Otto the spider. And we got quite a relationship with Otto. And then just one day he kind of disappeared, but he was a really mighty spider. So thank you for that.
I'll have to send you some spider photos.
Thank you. Anybody else liking to share? I was wondering how the people who are here for the first time are getting on with it. Well, and I'm very curious if Carol is the Carol I know. I think people in their little boxes are just very, well, so nice to see you all. Is there anybody else who would like to share something?
Hi, Radhule. It's Mary.
Who's that?
Mary. Can you hear me?
Hi, Mary.
Hi. I just want to say it's been such a time of division and separateness, you know, in our country, that this really, it just feels so good. And I always feel when we do this, really focus on our breath like that we also feel how natural it is, that we're not controlling it. I mean, we can only control it so much. It's just how we exist. And when you really focus on it like that, you can really feel how like you're breathing in the trees and you're giving life to them. It's really very, very beautiful and very healing. I want to thank you and Michael and everybody there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mary.
I just, if it's possible, I just want to add one other thing. Part of the reason that these practices are so interesting to me is that we kindness. What we see is that it has a really strong impact on people quite instantly. It can really shift the way people, and lots of people, like, you know, 300 people who have never done this practice before, just letting them do this practice really shifts the way they experience the world. And a friend of mine ran a study with Democrats and Republicans and showed that after the election, just doing 10 minutes of loving kindness brought these people close together. They had stronger feelings of affiliation with with people from the other party. And we've shown in our research about it helping people give. And I just think it's such a powerful practice for, you know, everybody. And that's why I think this is helpful for us, but I also think anybody we encourage it with among our friends and our family. And I love that idea of reaching out to Republicans that I know, sadly, I don't know too many, but I wish I knew more. But reaching out to them and sharing this with them might be might be really helpful. So just wanted to say that for everyone.
Thank you, Theo.
Radhule, it's Carol. So you had asked if I'm the Carol you know. It's a very common name, so I'm not sure. I attended a workshop or two of yours, but it's been about 10 years. I used to live in Ventura, and now I live in Canada.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if I'm the person you're thinking of or not. But
You
it's nice to
probably
connect
are.
with you again.
Thanks for being back.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, so just for those who don't know yet, we have Monday nights always this meditation, and Wednesday nights I teach together with my friend Danjo-san, Suken Danjo from Japan. He's zooming in from Hiroshima, and we have a lot of fun together. And then Sunday mornings at 10, I'm teaching with my husband, Michael Carney, who is a hospice doctor. We teach together on Sunday mornings at 10. But this Saturday afternoon from 2 to 5, and that might be too early for the people from Southeast Asia. Michael and I are giving a seminar on self-care. We call it Countering Compassion Fatigue, Self-Care and Resilience in Difficult Times. And anybody is very welcome to join. And if you go to our website, mindfulheartprograms.org, then you find it all there. So hope to see you again, and thanks everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Radhi. Mwah.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Oh.
Thank you.
Bye.
Good night. Bye-bye.
Night. Good night, Jane, Fabian, and Denise.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, Fabian.